Artificial intelligence doesn't respect borders, but governments do. And right now, that contradiction is creating a global power struggle over who gets to govern AI. At the United Nations, new AI bodies have been approved. Major powers are positioning themselves, and beneath the surface, a deeper question is emerging. Can a borderless technology ever be governed by sovereign states? Let's break it down. The core issue is structural. AI systems are global by design. Models are trained in one country, hosted in another, accessed everywhere. Deepfakes can cross continents in seconds. Cloud infrastructure routes data through multiple jurisdictions. A safety failure in one place can ripple worldwide, but laws stop at borders. That mismatch is driving calls for global coordination. There are 4 pressures behind it. First, the AI arms race narrative. Major powers now treat AI as a strategic capability, alongside cyber and nuclear infrastructure. Falling behind is framed as losing economic and military leverage for decades. Second, election interference. UN officials and national governments have warned that AI-generated disinformation and deepfakes pose real risks to democratic systems, especially in major global election cycles. Third, military integration. AI is being embedded into surveillance, targeting systems, logistics, and cyber operations. Without shared norms, analysts warn of escalation risks and miscalculation. And fourth, cross-border safety gaps. No single country can fully contain a technology that operates through globally distributed infrastructure. So when leaders talk about global AI governance, it's not abstract idealism. It's a response to a borderless system colliding with bordered politics. Now here's where clarity matters. The UN did not create a world AI regulator. What it approved is more limited, but still significant. Under the Global Digital Compact framework, member states agreed to establish an independent international scientific panel on AI and a global dialogue on AI governance. The scientific panel functions like a knowledge body. It brings together experts to produce evidence-based assessments of AI risks, impacts, and opportunities. It issues reports. It provides analysis, but it cannot enforce anything. The global dialogue is a structured political forum. States, companies, and civil society actors meet annually to discuss norms, best practices, and coordination. It does not pass binding law. It does not override national regulation. It does not compel compliance. What the UN created is coordination infrastructure, not enforcement power, a global advisory layer. Whether that layer shapes real policy depends entirely on what powerful states decide to do with it. This is where sovereignty becomes visible. The United States has signaled caution toward binding global AI governance that could constrain domestic flexibility. Washington tends to favor maintaining national regulatory control while leading through technological dominance, alliances, and export influence. China has publicly supported stronger UN-centered coordination. It positions itself as engaged in multilateral governance, while maintaining tight state control over AI domestically. The European Union represents a third approach. The EU has built a risk-based regulatory framework internally, and often projects its standards outward through market access and technical norms. Europe supports global dialogue, but it also relies on its internal regulatory power to shape global outcomes. Then there are developing nations. Many countries lack the regulatory capacity or technological leverage of major AI powers. For them, UN-based governance offers something important: inclusion, a seat at the table. So we are not seeing one unified global vision. We are seeing competing governance philosophies, national flexibility and strategic dominance, UN-centered coordination, rights-focused regulatory export, and capacity-driven inclusion. That fragmentation shapes everything that follows. So what happens next? There are 4 realistic paths. First, an advisory-only future. The UN panel becomes a respected knowledge institution, similar to a climate panel for AI. States selectively adopt recommendations. Governance evolves through soft law and voluntary standards. Second, competing AI blocks. The US, China, and the EU project their governance models outward. AI ecosystem fragment into partially aligned spheres of influence. Third, layered fragmentation. National laws, sector rules, regional policies, private standards, and UN guidance overlap into a complex regulatory patchwork. Large players adapt, smaller actors struggle. And fourth, AI geopolitics intensifies. AI governance becomes a tool of foreign policy. Export controls, standards alliances, and infrastructure deals shape the global balance of power. In this world, AI doesn't weaken sovereignty. It becomes another arena where sovereignty is exercised and contested. Zooming out, the real question isn't whether AI will be governed. It's who governs it and at what level. Do we build shared global baselines for the most dangerous risks? Or do we drift toward a fragmented digital order, where your exposure to AI risks depends entirely on which jurisdiction controls your data? Borderless technology is colliding with border politics, and that collision is still unfolding.